Happy Friday, guys. I haven't shared it yet. It is popping up right now. Popping up right now. There you go. And JT, I want to go back and actually look at that question that you had while we wait for some flow to come in here. I'm going to open up a new tab here and look at that, because that question kind of stumped me too. But let me take a peek here. I got to go back to the questions here and pull it, because I don't remember it off the top of my head. Let's see. So it was the BMNR. BMNR 88 call 4350. Yeah, that's yeah, I mean that's so strange. Let's see. Cuz I looked and I didn't really see anything. Yeah, and I mean, let's see. Yeah, like to me, you'd think IV would be spiking on this move, which is strange. And I mean, just kind of looking at that flow from earlier too. Yeah, I mean, the IV is really goofy on that. I mean, just like you said, that chain, how it dropped that much, and it wasn't earnings, so that one had me floored too. Let's see. And I'm obviously doing this in the stage versus the typical voice chat, so I'm trying to figure out, because when people are popping in, it's not dinging, and usually I like to hear it ding when people pop in, but apparently not. I'll have to mess with the settings after what just came in there. Yeah, it's just a lot of junk today. Not a lot of good flow today at all. I mean, these spreads are trash. Bad spreads. I mean, and you're just not getting right at the ask either. I mean, the cores, I mean, that's pretty small premium there too. I mean, that thing kind of popped a little bit there, but yeah, the ones that just came in a little bit ago, I saw those. I just didn't like how it wasn't really at the ask. I mean, you're 10 cents off the ask, and to me, that's a tough one there with the fill. And when I looked at it, I mean, you have a lot of mid and bid side fill on that, but we'll look at both candles here for you. It's hard on days that are like this, that are a little slower, but like just kind of looking at that IV here, I mean, just keep an eye on that. You see that IV decreasing, pops back up, drops again. So yeah, like this I probably wouldn't touch. And I mean, it's not like, and up here, I mean, this looks good where that IV spikes, but that too. And now you can see this. I mean, there were some contracts that were nullified and modified in here too. That's actually a change that Unusual Whales just put in. That's one thing that I'm always cautious about with floor trades too. Let me refresh and see if it actually shows it here. So like, yeah, you can see that got canceled and modified. For some reason with floor trades, you see a lot of that. So just kind of keep that in mind. I like to kind of wait to see if that flow actually sticks. But it looks like that flow obviously came in here after. Yeah, it's always something with floor trades. I don't know why. It's just odd to me. But like when you look at this one here, I mean, even here, there's your size and your IV drops. So this might be a good one to kind of look at and see what happens here. Your 9% out of the money doesn't overlap earnings. Yeah, that's interesting. It could be a good example of bad flow. Let's look at these roots that just came in. Some smaller size, doesn't overlap earnings. Looks like it may be... Okay, let's take a peek. So, okay, let me pop this out and see what we got before it. Do we got anything up here? Okay, so IV here, let's see, 67 nines, let's see. So that IV does increase. That IV is increasing all the way up. So now, like, this to me is some interesting flow. And when I see where that IV drops, I want to see how much size and premium it is there. It's a little bit heavier on the premium side compared to some of the other stuff, but let's just keep going up and looking. 68.15. I'd probably lean buys on these if I had to. How far are we out of the money? 22% out of the money, 42 days. Let's take a peek here. Yeah, it doesn't seem to get a lot of option activity. I mean, that was your put. It looks like those dropped. Let's take a peek and see what else we got on the day for it. Let's close that one out. So I like to kind of look at it by premium at first. So bid side puts there, so that's what's causing that. Let's take a peek. So bid side calls here then. So that's your 42-day calls right there. Yeah, I mean it's kind of I'd probably lean buys on it. I just want to see what that some of the other stats on it. So okay, yeah, that's your big volume guy there. Bid, some puts there, but obviously not a huge amount. Yeah, I wish that had more volume on it, and I'd say it probably looks good. I'd probably lean buys on these if I had to. Let's look at gamma just to kind of take a peek. Oh yeah, see, then you have that huge drop in that gamma today. Just look at it one more time. Yeah, I mean, flow-wise, I'd probably lean buys on it. Obviously, I have a lot of time on them too. And that net call premium is just kind of climbing there. See, what else did we just have come in? The RVLVs. Do we overlap earnings? No, we do not. Decent size, so we can at least track this a little easier. That's why I kind of like that bigger size too. You can actually at least track that whale a little easier versus like a 500 size whale. So big spike in that. Just want to take a quick peek. A lot of call premium there. Must have been earnings back there. Let's take a peek. So I'm going to say right away here that these, oh, well, maybe not. So 11 o'clock this morning, bid side coming in, 50.14. Now you have this later in the day ask side flow. 46.01, and that IV increases there. So that was your bid side flow there a little earlier. That's an interesting one, a little slower mover. I'd probably lean buys on those too. We can pop it up here. That's RVLV. Yeah, I mean, that's your biggest premium there. Yeah, I'd probably lean buys on those. I mean, that's not getting... mean, you can see barely traded or anything there. So yeah, that's an interesting one there. Interesting one there for sure. Probably, yeah. I'd lead buys on those then. Let's look at the huts here. 187. So again, another easy one. Obviously easy to track that. Earnings were yesterday. Down, call premium up. Maybe if I can learn to click, we can look at it. Let's see, so 82.25, looking at that. IV's just staying up, coming in at the ask, a little wider bid-ask spread. I'm going to say those look good. So now this is where it kind of conflicts me here at the end, where you see that IV drop here and some decent size here. What do we got here? Let's just see what else we got on the day. And post earnings, sometimes it's harder to trade post earnings because you have a lot of people wanting to dip buy. So some further out calls. So okay, you got some decent premium there on the calls. A little put premium there. I mean, your top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here are bullish. So I mean, that to me is telling. I mean, those are probably buys here. I mean, your net call premiums up. How did it look the last couple? I mean, yeah, put premiums up a little bit, but a lot of call volume. So yeah, probably lean buys on those. Let's look at the Cisco's here, the 8/15/69 puts. Oh, earnings in 5 days, so probably would pass on that. Definitely earnings flow if it's overlapping there. We'll just look at it for a fun read. I mean, your IV decreases there, so yeah. When that IV is decreasing and you're coming in at the ask, I mean, it's a mixed bag then, pretty much. So something like that, just pass over. There's a lot of bad flow compared to good flow. I mean, like, you look at this week, have 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 decent pieces of flow. Look at how much flow came in just today. This is all junk. This is, well, probably 90% of it's junk. You obviously don't know. I mean, you have a lot of multi-leg stuff. Flow just coming in the middle here, and it's a lot of junk. So it's just pretty much sitting here and weeding out the crap. Let's look at MRK. Is there a specific contract, or was it one that was in here? Suppose I can check while you type. Let's see. We can take a peek for you. MRK. Let's look at our premiums. So kind of mixed there, Let's do it by volume. So some bid side calls here. We'll take a peek at those and just see if they look like sells or not. And there's just not a lot of volume on these chains. We'll look at it's a pretty ugly one here. A lot of bid side. Let's take a peek at it. 560. So these almost look like selling calls here. 88, and that is 9% out of the money. Those look like call sells to me. Let's do one more spot for you. So yeah, that's the call sells there. Yeah, that's your biggest volume on the day. These 7 days. Let's look at these. You're just not, I mean, that premium's just not there to really match it though. It's a multi-leg. I can't believe I missed that. Big multi-leg there. Just the last 14 days there. I mean, not a lot of option buying. September 5th. Let's see. Yeah, those are the bid side calls there. These look like sells to me. Yeah, just be cautious. We can look at the chart quick though for you if you want. Maybe. Okay. You can look at the chart. I haven't. How far are your calls out? Let's take a peek. For September 5th. Okay, so you have a lot of time. I'll look at it on the weekly then. So no worries. Strike 85. Okay. So I mean, just kind of coming in here, looking at my trend line. Just trying to look here how far. I mean, you're sitting pretty close to that uptrend here. I'll try to draw that out a little bit better here. Just kind of get a couple more wicks in here. Earnings are October, so obviously you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, no, please. Usually on Fridays, it's been, especially during the summer, it's really slow. So, really helps if you have flow that you actually want me to look at her chart, because then I don't have to sit here and babble about nothing. Let's see, it's coming here. Yeah, I mean, that chart looks. I mean, your uptrends, you're sitting right there. I mean, if you're gonna risk anything, my risk would be a drop below that, or on the weekly, a close below that 78, but maybe watch for some resistance there at 82. RSI is pretty neutral right now. Just kind of want to take a peek at that. Back here. Yeah, I mean, I mean, that RSI doesn't move a ton. I mean, you're sitting pretty neutral anyways. And just kind of drawing out a demand zone here for you, see if I can find something. You're not missing too much, Karma. It's pretty boring. Yeah, I got to figure out how to get the noise back on here, because now I don't hear when people join, which is really obnoxious. Because usually I like to see when people are joining. But yeah, let me finish here for you, Nancy's. I'm just gonna call you Bathwater. That's a lot easier. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be an area. I mean, you rejected. This is gonna be your area. I mean, make or break in here. But I do like that uptrend there. I mean, you're coming back to 2009. And when you think about it too, you're coming into cold season as well. You know, people get sick, flu shots, all that stuff. So keep that in mind too, just from a macro perspective. But all right, let's close that one. Close that one. Keep that open if we need it. Yeah, and those Cisco puts, those were earnings. Yeah, and if you got any other flow or charts that you want me to do, I'm kind of looking in the settings here, trying to figure out how to get that sound on when people join. Might have to mess with it after hours. I don't really want to mess anything up right now. Let's see. CF put flows. Yeah, Karma. Is there a specific strike at all, or just kind of everything? Perfect. I knew you'd have it for me. I knew I probably wouldn't have to ask. Let's see. So the C, the 91970 puts. So right here. So, okay, you got a big piece of flow above that, but can't really get a good side on that. We'll look at the one that you pointed out. So you do have some bid side here. I mean, that's not 50-50, but close to almost half here. Let's look at the flow though. Down here, so okay, IV's coming up. Again, spots coming in at the ask. IV pops again, so you're at the bid here. IV pops. Yeah, the flow looks good. Flow looks good here. Just keeping an eye on that. I just don't like, that's what I don't like here is when you kind of see that come in, that weird bid ask. That's the part I don't like about the flow here that I'll tell you. And then, they could be sells at the ask. That's a tough one because there's your size, there's your premium, and there's your drop in the IV after being up there. Let's just keep going, and then your IV continues to drop here, and then spikes again. Yeah, they might be sells at the ask. That's a tough one because that IV doesn't want to stay up. Yeah, these might be sells at the ask. That's a good example there. Let's just kind of see what else I can see. A lot of did they just report earnings without me having to go take a peek, and 14% out of the money? Not horrible. My guess is yeah, I mean, not seeing any call activity on that at all. I mean, that's brutal. I could be selling puts at the ask. I do want to look at that call that I saw here. So see if we can look at the no side call and get a, I think it looks like something might have been canceled in that though. Oh, and as a cross trade, ignore all the cross trades. Those are junk. Just ignore them. Don't even look at them. So yeah, that's probably lean. Actually, I want to look at one more thing. Sorry. Yeah, so that puts your biggest one on the day. Let's just see if we can get an idea looking at the gamma. Yeah, I mean, that gamma, pretty big drop. And going back to Pelosi's bathwater here, I wanted to look at that gamma on MRK too for you. I know I forgot something. So yeah, that's an interesting one because typically you see gamma, or the price has to catch up to gamma. So like here you can see where you were kind of not touching the gamma, and JT's actually better at gamma than me, so he can touch on this too. But I mean, you can see that price isn't catching up to gamma, and then here we are, we finally caught up. So you know your September calls may be pretty good because look where we're trending and gamma's up there. So price may have to catch up there. So that's actually really good setup. That's what I like kind of looking at gamma with, just to kind of see where you're seeing a lot of that exposure and just kind of where you're seeing the prices and all that. It's obviously not 100% accurate because I mean, if you come and look at SPY right now, I mean, and it can take a year or two for it to catch up. You never know, but like SPY right now, you look at the gamma, where SPY is just increasing and gamma's way down here, but like, look at this. This was SPY back December last year. Just up, 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 and then it just took a while to drop. So, you know, it usually catches up, but it's not it's going to catch up tomorrow thing. But yeah, I mean, matching that with the chart, you matched it with the flow. Like, that's how I find my trades. You're matching the multiple data points there. So the more data points, the more likely you'll get some success. Alright, I heard a couple dings. Let's see. Yeah, I like the chart. I like the chart there. Let's look at long-term flow. Man, we'll look at this, and it's floor trade, so I kind of hold off on that. The micro strategies, weeklies, you're 30% out of the money. You're gonna get crushed by theta. Wouldn't even do that. Let's look at the CVXs again. It's showing it's an ask side fill, but your spot fill is 41. You're pretty much in the middle, but we'll look at it for fun. Dropping that call premium. Not really seeing anything with the IV around it either, and with it coming in between that bid and ask, easy pass on that. This is what you're doing with flow like 90% of the time. 90% of the flow you're going to look at is junk. And it's just trying to weed out that junk. And bid side, there's just like 4 puts. Those aren't good. Let's see. Ooh, karma. That doesn't sound fun. Yeah, no, it takes a while to learn. It takes a while to learn flow. I mean, just the one thing that I always tell people, don't just assume, like, because you'll see a lot of people post that ask side flow is a buy and bid side flow is a bid, or I mean is a sell. Yeah, I've never used black box, so I'm not really familiar with it that much. I know I've heard people have used it, but they like unusual whales better. So I mean that's just kind of, I don't know, like the one thing I like about unusual whales, and then I'll look for some earnings stuff too for you, karma. Like the one thing I like with unusual whales, I mean you get a lot. I don't know what you get with black box stock, so I could be completely wrong, but I mean it's just another option screener, purple stein. Like with unusual whales, you get like everything. Like you get gamma, you get your dark pool feeds. I mean, you get a lot of this other stuff in here, like your politician trades, your portfolios. I mean, a lot of stuff. I don't know what black box offers, but I haven't always heard. I've heard a lot of people switch over to unusual whales, and I don't know. I don't know either with the black bot, like if you can actually analyze the flow either with that, because I know like it when it pops up it'll be like, oh, it's at the ask, the B, or the A, the B, BB, or above the ask or whatever, but I don't know if you can actually go in and analyze the actual raw flow. Like that's the one thing that I always tell people, you have to go in and actually analyze that raw flow, because like this, if this just showed, oh, it's coming in at the ask and you can't look at the flow, I mean you're not going to know if it actually reads as a buy or not. But let's see. Yeah, there hasn't been much for earnings, karma. Like, just kind of, there was one that we looked at, or like the Cisco. I mean, that's a pretty big earnings bet there, 5 days out. Let's see. We'll start from the bottom here. Yeah, Cisco here. Let me come back up. The 8/15/69 put. That guy right there. Yeah, I like I said, I've never tried black box. I can't like tell you. I just need to be able to analyze that actual flow. So that's the thing that I know unusual whales lets me do. So, oh man, the soldier of fortune joined. Oh, there's trouble. But yeah, so that Cisco flow kind of looked like decent earnings. Maybe an earnings one, a little cheaper play too. Let's see, just kind of looking 3 days. These Okla puts, let's look at these. Earnings. Big multi-leg on that one. Yeah, there just hasn't been a lot today. 49. 3 days. Nope. Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of scanning down here looking for short-term earnings. Yeah, you're just not multi-leg. Yeah, I got you here in a second. I just want to pop down here. These all getting multi-leg. Yeah, a lot of the earnings flows multi-leg. Yeah, your Cisco earnings flow was this guy right here, the 815.69 put, and like that's not super far out of the money. Let's look at some earnings stuff for you on it. I mean, just kind of looking at earnings though. I mean, you're not really hitting that implied move. Not doesn't really hit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about half the time, but and it almost looks like it does. And that's a split move almost too, where kind of half is down, half is up. Makes it a little tough there. But the one thing with earnings, as long as you know it's a, oh wow, okay. As long as you know it's, I always say treat all earnings plays as a 100% loss before you do anything with that. Let's see. These SPY puts were interesting a little bit earlier. I just didn't like how they were short term over the weekend. But these did look interesting to me. I mean, your IV kind of stayed up there. Didn't really change. And it wouldn't let me go back to that first page on this, so that's kind of why I passed on that too. But a lot of put premium here on SPY. Holdings up, so kind of mixed bag there. Oh shit. Alright, let's go back here. These came in 10 minutes ago, a little longer term, not any size there, so nothing super good. These guys, 14 days, probably made a move already, yeah. A little tougher one because that one's very similar size there. I think actually Fortune here actually pointed these out in the chat, I think. But these are when I ran to lunch anyways, so yeah, just not a lot. Yeah, and you are probably really happy now that you took the 29s in the money now. Those arcs, just kind of, I mean, nothing really there. Those IWMs came out like very close at open. I kind of try to avoid that stuff, and I mean, you can see why. Just choppy, down about 30% on those. Just spreads are kind of goofy at open. I like to let the market settle like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. Oh, let's look at these NVIDIA puts that came in. Kind of already a lot of volume on it, but so one where you'd have to check that open interest on Monday, but 1500 there, 1500 there. So either double down and or a close at the ask, 247. I mean, you never know. I mean, you could trade it. Could be a quick trade there. And then you see that IV kind of drop here at the end anyways. Let's see how that first candle looked. 32.20, so those look like a buy there. So your IV does increase there. I mean, obviously it's not the same timing anyways, but I'm just kind of looking at the full trade there. I just don't like how it drops there at the end. Yeah, you'd have to check open interest on that one on Monday before I'd chase anything there. Either you're gonna come in at above 6,000 or so, or these are gonna be, you're not gonna be a big change in the open interest. So that's something to watch there. Let's look at these. 815 LRCX 104s. Not right at the ask. Not earnings. Let's take a peek. It's a little spike in that call premium. So timing, okay. So you're coming in at the ask. So this is where it's saying it wasn't coming in fully at the ask. You're 1 cent below. And then your spreads get really goofy here. So IV doesn't really change there, but I don't like that spread. Then weeklies after already almost a 2.5% run up. 2% out of the money though, so those could have a chance. Let's see what else we got for it on the day. So 659, so let's split. Okay, long put. More mid-term short call. Mixed. Bid side put. Yeah, that's tough. And to be that short term, I'd look at those. Let's see, where are these? The Fort. No. These might be interesting. So again, probably would have to check that open interest. But my guess is they are ads. Let's take a peek here. So IV drops, comes back up, and then, yeah, those might be good. I almost like the further out ones here. And I mean, they're not super deep in the money where you'd have to be like their arbitrage or anything. 4% of the money isn't super bad. I'd say I like those calls, but I like the 21-day out ones more. And I'm not posting these at all. I'm kind of like the power hour, just to kind of sit and look. JT always knows how the power hour flow goes anyways, so. Yeah, and just bid side stuff is just kind of just junk. A lot of junk. Let's close that out. And Apple, I'm annoyed at that. I'm happy you got in those fortune, because I really wanted to get, just after that run up, I wanted to see us at least kind of come back to that 200, but nope, no luck. Like you said this morning, I guess that was your discount, just that small little dip there, and went right back up. It's just hard for me to chase something that has already moved up. Where are we? Right here. I mean, just the last 3 days. Up 12%. Well, technically 11% now. I mean, even if you were to just chase that yesterday, I mean, you're already up almost 8%, 7.5%. So it's tough. You kind of... It happens. It's a good read, but if it's not there, you gotta obey your rules. I mean, that was a nice little chart there, too. See what we can look at today for... See what we're looking at for hottest contracts. These Google calls, this looks so... they're not up that much. So a lot of call premium there. Okay, that's most of that one right there. Let's look at that first one. Google 2823. Alright, let's keep looking. Good there. Then you kind of got that IV drop, and then comes back up here. Yeah, those look kind of good. Not coming in right at the. Yeah, they're pretty close to the ask though. That Google flow looks good there. Interesting. Let's see if we can look at it on a chart quick. Just kind of coming in that double top area here. Getting a little oversold. Very nice V-shaped recovery there too. That's pretty big recovery. A lot of net call premium today too. But these ALKs. We already looked at these. Never mind. That was a weird one because some of that was modified. We already looked at those. Sell KY. Yeah. Yeah, the ALK's got... Karma had me look those up, and it seems like the floor trades for some reason tend to see a lot of modifications or cancellations, so like that's... I don't know why it's typical with that. That's just odd to me. So look at these BBAIs next week. Oh, earnings play, so no. Upstart. Let's look at these 42 days. That's good premium. Let's look at that flow. $581. Flow's looking good there. A little drop, not too bad. So that upstart flow looks good. Oh shit, why did I close out of that? Okay, so 1% out of the money. Yeah, that looks good. Let me get back in my ETFs because I saw that flow come in, or I heard the ding. So SPY puts. So again, not coming in right at the ask. Yes, sir, I can for you. Give me 1 second here. Let me just take a peek at these. So a lot of put premium here. I don't know why my ETF pages are doing this, or it doesn't load that second page. Well, okay, your IV spikes here. So yeah, these SPY puts would look good here too. 1%, 16% multi-leg. Tough. I mean, we're kind of dropping here a little bit now anyways. All right, let's look up the ones here that you just asked for. All right, the SEZLs, SEZL 919 90 put 919 put 90. These guys? Oh, let's take a peek. So that's good premium. Small multi-leg. Alright, let's look. We'll do some magic here for you and see how it looks. And I'm going to probably assume messy. So we'll see here. So these almost look like cells to me. Just I'm kind of looking here. So IV drops, spikes, IV drops. IV drops here. IV drops again. These are looking like cells to me. Put cells here, and especially being down 34%. 82.70, 83.87. Yeah, that IV is kind of struggling to stay up there. 82.53. Yeah, these look like 81.71. Yeah, I would probably lean put cells on those, especially being down. How far are those out of the money again? Let's see. 1%. Some weekly calls here. Looks like those Weekly calls, weekly puts. Let's see what else we got here. So that's the one we looked at there. Then you have these weekly puts. So let's just kind of look at a couple of these just to... 700 there. What do you got? 5, 5. Let's see. Yeah, and these are 160 put. Oh, so these are very deep in the money. Yeah, 75%. Yeah. Junk. Yeah, probably arbitrage puts there. Yeah. That's junk there. I'd probably say those puts that you said fortune there, those are probably put sells. Especially, again, being down 34% on the day. How about these RL? Oh, wait, we looked at these already, didn't we? Yes, we did. Yes, we did look at those. Let's go back here and look at some of the hottest contracts until we hear some more flow come in. So let's look at the micro strategies here. Interesting here. So comes in here, they're down. A lot of put premium here. Only 5% out of the money. That, like, this would be a good little discount, possibly. Let's take a peek. Alright, so 50. Okay, so IV spikes right when we see that coming in here. IV coming up, small drop there. Comes up, small drop again. IV spikes there again, drops again. Tough one there. I'd probably lean buys on those if I had to guess. What else do we have for MicroStrategy on the day? Let's take a peek. Oh shit. That's how you can tell it's Friday brain today. Okay. It's 28, so bid side calls there on the weekly. Don't care about 0 day. Bid side calls. Yeah, there's a lot of bid side call activity. And there's just always a lot of premium on this too, so it kind of makes it a little tough. But I would probably say, if you made me guess, I'd probably lean buys on those if it made me pick. These wolf calls. So a lot of volume, open interest already. Definitely an opener. Already kind of moved up 24. 10% out of the money, 7 days. Yeah. Theta's going to eat you over the weekend. Those Google puts just flat right now. Yeah, there's just not start kind of going down on that premium too. I mean, for me, I like seeing at least 250,000. I mean, you're starting to kind of drop here in the premium. How about ETF wise? Yeah, I mean, that's just not a lot of premium here. I mean, your IWM calls over the weekend. And you're kind of dropping here as a market. A little sell off in the close here. Yeah, it's not a lot of premium on what are we at for volume on the day? 51 million. Yeah, just kind of look at that on the daily. I mean, just not even really at the 30-day average. the summertime trading. Let's see. Yeah, and I mean, you look at Tide. Let's just pop this out for the last 7 days. A lot of all call premium today, but I mean, rest of the premium sitting bid side, so just probably a lot of all in the money calls being hit. Yeah, I mean, you just pop this out again. A lot of call premium on that day after that drop. And it just, I mean, for the most part, though, I mean, you just look back, just pretty flat. And this is typical for summer. This isn't unusual at all. Let's see if we got anything else interesting here. How we doing volume wise on some of these? And still not even, I mean, those ALKs, obviously you're gonna some of that was nullified volume, so kind of ignore that. These AGIs, a lot of put premium there. Alright, we'll look at FSLR. That makes it a lot easier than me trying to find stuff. Yes, I can. Let's see, the 822 put. You've got the 192.5 and 200. 192.5. Different strike maybe for call. Did you say? Oh, okay, you didn't say call. I was like, I didn't see it say call. Okay, so we'll add that. And then let's do the 200 for you. Okay. We'll start with the 200. That one a little better, only 8% out of the money. IV spikes when that comes in. Looks good there. IV stays up, coming in at the ask. The one there is just 1 cent under, not a big deal. So now you come to the end here again, and you can probably guess what I'm going to say about this. I don't like that the IV decrease there, but you're still coming at the ask. Let's look at the other piece of flow and see if we can get some clues out of that one. Are you sure this is the one that you want? Oh, the 192.5. Back more. For 197.5, okay. So 800 yesterday. Okay, let's take a peek here. So those, okay, popped. You're already kind of up on those this morning. Pretty break even right now. Down a little bit, but let's look. So let's just see. So 58.33. So okay, IV looks good there with the spike. Oh shit, did that pop that back? Okay, here we go. 58.33 coming in at the ask. 57.79. So now you're seeing that IV decrease there. 57.72 comes back up. Or no, that IV dropped a little bit more there. Man, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. When I see that IV decrease on both of those chains, that's probably telling me they could be sells at the ask. Could be wrong. It's not 100% a guarantee thing. I just want to see what else came in today too. So okay, I like these 42-day out calls. Actually, that's a lot of premium here. Let's look at those. Oh wait, we were just looking at these. Why am I crazy. Okay, so we looked at those, and that's where that IV was kind of. No, we were looking at the 822. You're correct. So this is part of a multi-leg trade. Yep, you're correct. I see what you meant there. Okay, I had to think for a second. I heard the 200 call, and I was like, we just looked at that. So this one, if it wasn't part of a multi-leg trade, I'd say that looks good. What else did we have on the day for that? So goofy put, asks I put. Yeah, that's a tough one. If this wasn't multi-leg, I'd say it looks good, but that's a tough one. It's a tough one. Because those two calls that you have me look up, with that IV decreasing on both, it kind of looks like a sell. But I mean, could be wrong, like I said. And where are we at on the chart? Let's take a peek. Yeah, I mean, that's tough. I mean, you're a little bit to go, and then you start forming that other shoulder. Yeah, I mean, it's. Could see maybe a small little run up into that like 200 spot, possibly. How's that volume today? Let's see. Yeah, just not a lot of volume. News on it today, let's see. So maintained a buy a couple days ago. Well, how about these Google calls coming in right here before close? Yeah, the FSLR, I'm going to probably say is very... That's a tough one to kind of say. I'd probably say they're call sells, honestly. So let's look at these Google calls here. So, okay, coming in here before close, IV, coming in with ask, IV pops, IV pops again, then your IV drops here, and then your IV comes up again here. It's interesting flow, and then drops again there. Tough there. Okay, we'll look at the Palantirs for you quick. It's a Palantir 1219 260 call. 1219 call 260. I think these are the ones that came in long-term flow today, actually. Yeah, so when I look at the long-term flow, yeah, that's looks like a buy here. Obviously, Palantir, good earnings. So, I mean, I like that, too. I mean, that'd be a really long-term play there. I mean, it's a good play there. Good long-term one there. Let's look at, so, mid, IBM, 5 days. Let's look at those IBMs quick. Call premiums up. 86, good. Then you have it drop again here. 15, so a couple minutes ago. I'd probably lean buys on these because it's not, timing's not really exact there. And it's only one contract coming in, kind of like that there. And I mean, you're down 3% on the day. Yeah. Yeah. Just doesn't get a lot of option activity. Sometimes those boomer stocks are good though, because I mean it's more technical analysis based, and you're not gonna have meme apes come in and just kind of do everything. I want to see how we finished here, and then I'm about to hop off. A little spike in the close there. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. You guys have a great weekend. I'm going to get the full recap up and stuff for the week. See you guys later.